Good morning. Thank you all for being here to listen to a narration on the journey of a child star to being her own woman. A child star who, before she became a star, the child, in wake of circumstances, got studios to be her school, film scripts to be her syllabus, and directors as her teachers. But being the interpret child that she was, she went on to make the studio her universe and home, and cinema a craft that she honed on a humongous plinth of consistency and constancy of purpose. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, to celebrate a two times National Award winner, Sarika, and celebrating 50 years of cinema and counting more. Please join me in welcoming Sarika, the actor. So, Sarika, welcome. The first words that are attached to you is cinema uninterrupted. You've been a working baby, a working child, a working adolescent, and you continue to work. Does that define you?
I don't know if it defines me or not, but that's the fact. I mean, I have been working all through, never really had a break. So the only time I had a break was when I had my babies because that needed 100% concentration. So then I moved to doing something else.
So you were behind the camera.
Yes,
So you've
yes.
always been working. So if you were to press memories recorder on replay, what would your first memory be of your debut short? That was Hamra's.
Um, I don't know. I mean, memories. I mean, it was. See, I was very young. I was 4. So you really don't realize the magnitude of what you're doing. All you realize is that these are very nice people and they're asking you to do something and you do it. So actually, there is no great memory attached to that as such.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was your first shot,
yeah,
and it's a difficult shot,
yeah.
But obviously, you were a natural actress because it is a shot of loss of showing of an orphanage scene that starts. So
Yeah, but I think the credit also goes to the whole team because the whole set of people there, they were wonderful. Now that when we work with children, we realize it's really our responsibility as adults to make sure that they are not pressurized and they come through with ease. So I think that credit is totally for
So, leading on, segueing to another question is that cinema is a very intimate medium, and camera is really up close. It's almost like your breath. And you played both Master Suraj and Baby Sarika. So there must have been, some. How did you negotiate the space between action and cut, interchangeably playing both roles of a male child and a female child?
that was difficult when I for the first film I did as a boy was very difficult. um, I really could not comprehend that, or I couldn't handle it,
Oh yeah.
yeah, because first of all they used to make me wear those very ugly and very bad wigs. They were really really bad, and um, those like straw like hair, and then it was like a full net thing, so if you wore it you would be sweating inside the whole day. They would put the gum, so there was the discomfort.
I'm sorry.
एकदम इतना पास, इससे ज्यादा पास तो नहीं जा सकता. Can we increase the volume probably?
I'm
It's fine.
sorry. Apologies.
Okay.
Yeah.
So मैं ऐसे बात करती हूँ, तो if you miss the voice you can lip read me. Okay. So that was very difficult, and also when you're performing as a boy, suddenly you would say मैं जाऊंगी and they will say नहीं नहीं मैं जाऊंगा and all that. So I think at that age the first film was very difficult, but as time went by it became like any other part of acting.
So you have acted with the greats as a child: Ashok Kumar, Sanjeev Kumar, Meena Kumari ji. So, was it like a master class? Was there any like you mentioned that the team was always very nice? Was there any all seasons person that you could go to, or somebody to hold you tenderly? There must have been some tears, something in the acting. Always, you need, any child needs that tenderness if there's been a difficult shot. So, is there any person that you have a lovely memory of?
No, first of all, I must say that the biggest blessing of my life has been that I got an opportunity to work with some of the most wonderful, not only actors but directors. V.R. Chopra, Rishikesh Mukherjee, and Dulal Goha. So that was a really like a blessing. And as a kid, you don't realize it, but you are learning when you're working with these people. You're learning all the time, and things just stay in your mind. It's now when you look at it and somebody says, oh, she was sick, and Sarika still came and did some shot and all that, and then you look back and remember that. I remember one instance is a film called Ashirwad, which I did with Dada Muni. I'm sorry, Ashok Kumar.
Ashok Kumar.
Yes, and Dada Muni had this asthma problem, very severe asthma problem. And in that film, if you see, he wears this mask, and it was like a very thick mask, so he couldn't breathe through that. And it was like peak summer. We were shooting in outdoors. I must have been, I think, 7 or 6, something 7, I think. And in between shots, he would take the pump and he would use that, and then he would shoot again and do that. You don't understand it then, but all this stays in your mind, and years later, if you are sick, you go to shoot because somewhere it has stayed in your mind that no matter how you are, work has to go on. So there are so many such things that you learn, and I think that's the foundation, not only for me as an actor but as a person. All this learning is the foundation.
Wonderful. That's the embroidery of hindsight. So your role, I think it was Khushbu, that your role as a child star. So you've ridden a wave. You ride a wave to a child star. You never get off the wave. You're continuously acting, and it's in Khushbu that we get to see the glimpses of Sarika. And how did you ride that wave? It was relentless. You were a child star, and you went on to being a heroine at a very tender age.
Yeah, because Khushbu, I was 11. I mean, that was the continuation of my child star roles. And there was this scrawny, little, thin little thing in that. And I played Kalima. And Gulzar Saab was the director. And my first film as a lead role happened by chance. I'd gone to see a film, and it was a very scary film. I think it was A Man Called Horse or something like that. There's something in that where they hang him with the hooks and all that. And I was very scared, so I turned around in my seat. And behind, B.R. Isharaji was sitting, as we call him Babuda. And he watched me because I didn't see the rest of the film. I was just sitting like that. And he approached me to do the lead in his film called Kagas Ki Nau. So my 13th birthday happened on the sets of Kagas Ki Nau. So it was not planned. It was just like a full thing. And then, of course, it was followed by Geet Gata Chal.
So it's just a wave.
Yeah.
Show of hands, how many of us here have seen Geet Gata Chal? Wow. So Geet Gata Chal, star
Not many hands, Sadhana, because
No,
that
there
was a very old film. There are many
No.
young people now.
No. There was. The illusion I got was there were many hands. And so, Geet Gata Chal is A Star Is Born. It was, I don't think Karan Johar had happened and Kuch Kuch Hota had happened. So, entire North India, the brides would sing Main Wahi, Darpan Wahi, Sab Kuch Lage Naya Naya. That's the iconic song picturized on Sarika. And you were a bankable star. While the media called you Destiny's Child, the filmmakers called her Discipline's Child. You were disciplined, and there was this huge wave that you had of being a heroine, right?
Yeah. I don't know what to say.
Okay, she's bashful. So moving on, a watershed moment in Indian cinema would have been Griha Pravesh. Yeah, it explored marital spaces, it explored extramarital spaces, and what makes the film intriguing is the fact that your co-stars were people. Sharmila Tagore in Choti Bahu, you played her son, and with
And
Sanjeev
Satyakam.
Acha and Satyakam.
Also, I played her son.
And with Sanjeev Kumar, I think you will
Yeah.
elaborate that you played lover, wife, son, and a love interest in Griha Pravesh.
And granddaughter.
And granddaughter. Okay.
No, yeah, Griha Pravesh was very, very, thank you. Griha Pravesh was very special to me because I had started acting as a child star. So all the training that I had was on the sets, working with all these great people. But I'd never had kind of a training as such, where you train to be an actor or something. And when Basu Bhattacharya, I had already done two films with him before Grah Parvesh, Madhumalti and Anand Mahal. So when he signed me for Grah Parvesh, a lot of people were like, Bashu, now to you have ruined the film before beginning. Because she's such a kid. How can she work with Hari Bhai and Sharmila? ये तो lopsided हो गई picture. ये तो गड़बड़ हो गया. And it was a very important film because it's part of his trilogy. That is Anubhav, Avishkar and Grah Parvesh. And to be honest, for that role, I was very young for that role. But that was his vision. He wanted her to be like that character. So then he started training me, where they would ask me to put books on my head, draw a line on the ground, and then you have to walk like that, cross legs, because that's supposed to be sexy, swaying.
Be in
And
character.
yes, because I used to be like, no, I'm very clumsy walker. Even now, I don't walk very well. So that was there. How to use your voice. He would dub one scene in a day and all that. So that was kind of a very quick acting course for me. And there was no stress when I was working with Hari Bhai because I think he's one actor with whom I've done maximum number of roles. But there was a lot of pressure on me when everybody was saying that, probably I was not right for the role for whatever reason. And I really worked very hard on that film. And when the first preview was happening, I remember I was standing at the door because some of those people had seen the film, and I just wanted to see if I had proved them right, or if I had managed it. And I think we got away with it. It was okay.
She's being modest. I think documentary evidence shows that at Grah Pravesh, it continues and still continues to be one of the watershed moments in Indian cinema. So this is the heroine side. There's a huge journey of personal expression happening. Where better than a literature festival to tell us your
Sorry.
story and your love for a gift of a dictionary? And she is self taught. She's absolutely self taught in learning how to read and
Thank you.
write.
Yeah, I could never go to school because I started work at 4 and then there was no break. So I went to school for one day, I remember. And I was in the bathroom the whole day because I was very scared. So I didn't even go to the classroom. I was just in the bathroom. And there was those French windows and all that. But given a chance, I think I would have loved to go to school. I'm that kind of person. I would have loved to go. But I couldn't. Then, of course, we had this whole fake scenario of, oh, we have a teacher who gives tuition to her, because that was the correct thing to do. But there was nothing happening there. I mean, she would sit, I would sit, and she would say, अच्छा 6 महीने पहले मैंने कौन सा लेसन बोला था आपको? मतलब उनको याद नहीं था ना मुझे याद था. So there was nothing like that. But I was very keen. And I think that's when I discovered the dictionary, because it was wonderful. Somebody told me it had all the meaning. So it was like a thing. Every day take a newspaper and circle the words which you don't understand, which means, in other words, the whole page would be circled because you didn't know anything. And then go to the dictionary and find out the meaning of the whole thing. And I remember, thank you. I remember one news item which really freaked me out was there were some riots, and it was Times of India, and it's had headline: uh, police force uses tear gas. So I thought, my God, now these are two very distant things. How does the police use tear and gas? So, it was like a huge thing. And I was so scandalized that I thought I should not repeat it because it was not the correct thing to say. How can a young person talk about such things? Uh, but then, you know, there were so many such things you learned and other things. So for me, my dictionary became my school, my college, my everything. It's like my lifeline, and it was the best thing I've ever possessed in my life.
Cheers to that. So then now, there is an elapse of time, there is a shift of gears, there's a shift of geography, there are new reasons to embrace motherhood. Everybody's story of motherhood is as personalized as a fingerprint. You've had a lovely narrative on your motherhood.
Yes, I think so. And uh, the best thing I have ever created or been part of creating, bringing into existence, are my daughters, I think. Uh, Shruti and Akshara. I am so um, thankful to the universe, to my life, for giving me the opportunity to be their mother. It's really one of the best things that has happened in my life. And motherhood, parent, in general, I think children are very, very important because uh, they are the ones who keep us alive. Sooner or later, the parents start going. Then their children. How do people remember you? That's they are your, they are your lifeline. And I love my girls. They're wonderful women. They're very strong in their thinking. They're very honest in whatever they do, in their personal life, in their work. And they make me very proud. And I want to say thank you to them for that.
Well, they have a lovely story of their love for Sarika, and they say that they never missed a day's school because Mama didn't go to school, and how important it is. So, what better lesson for even for a child to go to school even if she has fever? Yeah, that's something they both share
I think
openly.
I did my schooling more with my children.
That's true.
Doing their lessons and history and, maths. Of course, maths I was very bad. So are my children.
But you're doing well.
Yeah, but we don't need maths for many things. So it's okay. The world is 50-50. We are on the other side. It's fine.
Yeah, the right brain and the left brain, right? So while as we began the talk by saying that you've been constantly working, well, with motherhood, you were the quintessential working lady. You did. There was a conscious decision to shift behind the camera. Uh, what? So I'm going to take up costumes, which has been an area where I think you spent time on doing over costumes for over 30 films.
Yeah.
And so there is a lovely design sensibility that you bring. You gave a toss to the allure of fashion and the tyranny of fashion and made authentic patterns. How did that come about?
I think that also happens because I approached it more as an actor and not a designer. Because having worked for all these years, you face many situations, when you're giving your costumes, which is more in keeping in with fashion, and not really in your character. So you have to tell them, okay, I'm doing this scene. It's sad scene. This is really not working. You can't give me a purple with a yellow and a green dupatta. So all these things that you keep doing over the years as an actor, uh, when you start designing costume, they all become part of that. Like when I was designing costume, I used to have a costume script which was given to uh, the DOP, that is the director of photography, and the set designer, the production designer, so that we could, coordinate our colors. Because if, for example, if this is there and if you sit wearing a red in front of that, it's not going to work. I mean, you don't need to do all this, but if you do all this, it becomes more interesting. The film in totality, the visual looks very nice.
And cinema is a visual medium.
Yes,
So,
yeah.
well, actors would love to work with you because you pioneered the concept of the costume script, right? You pioneered that concept.
Yeah, but then I also feel everybody has their own way of approaching work. Somebody might not have a script; they might have some other way of doing it, and do their work correctly. So it's really not that big a deal in that sense. Everybody finds their own tool to do it.
And so, cinema, frame by frame, in your stint with being behind the camera, you are also called the architect of sound.
No, I'm not architect. No,
Yeah?
no, not at all. Actually, Mr. Srivastav, who is my guru in sound, he's a sound recordist, and he was a sound recordist on many films that I did as an actor. And those days, when we were shooting for those films, nobody knew about sync sound or live sound. Live sound is basically they would put mic us and have mics here and use this, and not go in a dubbing theater and re-record our lines and then put it. So live sound is the best way to work. As an actor, as a film person, I can tell you there's nothing better than live sound, because when you're actually doing something, how your body moves and all that, your voice also modulates and it changes. When you stand in front of a mic in a dubbing theater, you're just standing there. You lose those nuances of sound. So he used to keep telling me a lot about all that, and nobody in India knew. He's the one who was. So when I went and I decided that I'm not going to act and I'm going to be a technician, costume was just given to me. It was not something that I had picked up by choice, but sound I picked up by choice, because that is what I really wanted to do. It's a bit neglected area, not now anymore, luckily for us, but in that time it was.
So, anything you want to talk about Pushpak?
Yeah, Pushpak is
That's a special film in the
Yes,
sense that while
yes.
it sans dialogue and the
Though
sound.
I'm an actor, I must say it is such a relief that one film has no actor voice in it, and it's totally left for the sound people to create the ambience, the sound, and we shot it in Bangalore.
Oh, really?
Yes, yes, it was shot in Bangalore, and because it was so sound oriented, what I would do is I would take the footage and put it on a computer, a laptop, and we would actually go on the streets early in the morning, sync and create sounds, not in uh, in a recording studio, because the sound changes, So that was so much fun. Director Sangeetam Srinivas Rao, whose concept this was, he's such a genius, and he was so supportive, and I'm forever thankful to him for this film. Because as a sound person, this is like it's a great film to work on.
Pushpak.
Yes.
Well, uh, there are two national awards, one for costume, one for acting. Tell us a little about that. I know you're bashful. Tell us a little about that. Did you feel honored?
Of course, I felt honored. It is one of the biggest honors of the country, and I'm humbled by it. And it really makes you feel nice about it. Though one doesn't work towards winning
Sure.
awards, nobody does. We just try to do our best in whatever is given to us. We try to do our best. Uh, Sometimes it's recognized, sometimes it's not. Sometimes there's so many people doing so much good work that you
And not
really don't know. It's about 19-20 ka fark, you know. So yes, I'm honored and I'm, very proud. And I used to always tell my kids, when I got the first one, I was not acting that time when I got for my costume, and there was
one.
there was no way in my mind I was ever going to go back to acting. But I just told them, I said, अभी एक मिला है, दो और मिलेंगे तो हम तीनों एक एक रख लेंगे. So थोड़ा सा अभी तक तीसरा मिला नहीं है तो देखेंगे, बच्चों को देके चली
Oh,
जाऊंगी,
it's still.
मेरा वाला बाकी है.
So after this phase, you went back to being Sarika. You went back into the geography again changed, and so has the grammar, has the syntax of cinema evolved?
Absolutely. And trust me on this. I am enjoying this time, my second phase in acting, so much. Everything has changed. And I can say this at this point, cinema is the best in India ever. Not only in India, absolutely. I think we need to really applaud because they're great filmmakers, great actors. The audience is great, actually, if you look at it, because um, of something as non-creative as multiplexes has opened the field for creativity, because there's no 800,000 capacity theater, and the distributor tells you, अरे एक fight डाल दो, एक rape scene डाल दो, माँ का रोने वाला scene भी डाल देना यार पीछे, और एक वो भी डाल देना, माँ मैं स्कूल से college से आ गया, or all those kind. There is nobody who's sitting on your head telling you to do that. You can actually go out there, create something, and release it. And now there is an audience for that, so it's actually, the credit goes to the audience, because if they don't want it, there is no way we are going to be able to make that kind of cinema. And besides cinema, now we have platforms. It's amazing. If I don't have that much money to make a film, which is a niche film, I can always go and make a web series. I can go and make 10 short films. If you just go on YouTube and if you Google Indian short films, there are some thousands of them, and they are absolutely wonderful. This whole concept that you can change a thought into cinema is real. It's so real.
And affordable.
Yes, it's affordable, and there are so many platforms. So this is wonderful. And as an actor, it is such a good time, because I remember in the first innings, I don't like makeup very much. So I would always try to do less makeup and go, and then they will say, "अरे मैडम ये तो बहुत खराब हो गया, आप थोड़ा ज़्यादा करके आइए." Then I would go back to my makeup room, sit with my makeup man and hairdresser, do nothing, have a cup of tea, come out and say, अभी ठीक है सर, ये मुझे लग रहा है थोड़ा मस्कारा ज्यादा हो गया ना, ये रूज तो नहीं ज्यादा, नहीं 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 बिल्कुल ठीक है. You had to constantly cheat. Then there would be a sad scene. I would wait for all the sad scenes, the really bad, and because that day I could tell the director, इस scene में makeup नहीं करेंगे sir, because she is very sad. So he'll say yes, yes, yes. So it was like that. So it was such a big fight that you had. But in spite of all this, if you see my old films, I look horrible and I wear terrible clothes and there is some bad makeup and red lipstick. Those are the battles I lost. But now, this time, it really does not matter. Today, when I work, I do not use makeup. I am like this. I go there and tell them, this is what it is. Take it or don't take it.
Yeah.
But everything has changed. The way they shoot the film, the lighting, the grading of the film, the openness towards somebody like this. So this is absolutely fantastic. This is great time.
And there's been a tremendous body of work. There's been Bheja Fry, Tahan, Club 60, Parzania. So, how have the films been when you have returned in this phase of acting?
In this sense, I didn't understand.
That these were the films which
Yeah.
were tailor made for you, and they were without all the
Okay.
things that you.
No, but that is also because cinema changed.
Correct.
Right? People started making these kind of films. We made Bheja Fry in 49 lakhs. you it's I don't know, if you're a cinema person you will understand 49 lakhs is nothing. It is really nothing. We were a very small uh, team, and I remember uh, we would all be doing everything. We would be acting also, we'd be ironing each other's costume also, somebody is holding mirror in the, somebody is getting ready, then somebody is doing production work also, and then saying shot ready, oh shot ready, okay turn around, give the shot. अरे यार ये सोफे का रेट तुमने बोला था 2500 में हायर पे आएगा, ये 4000 कैसे हो गया. We made that film like that. Now this, I'm not saying this kind of cinema was not there before, but it was very, very rare. Maybe in
Big budgets.
no, no, this kind of small budget, this kind of atmosphere, like one film in 2 years or two films in 2 years, like that. But when I came back, this was happening every day. Like there were many productions like that, and of course, there's a lot more we can do, but the cinema has changed so much that even the films I did changed. So there was like, I don't know. It was, I think the whole atmosphere had changed.
What's your take in all the sacred new platforms, Amazon, Netflix?
They're wonderful.
No? They've really changed. The dominance of platform has been changed. It's more democratic now.
It's absolutely wonderful. Like I said earlier, the web series and this and all that. Though I just feel bad. I wish our television would change a little,
Our television.
because I have met uh, so many people in my life, but I'm yet to meet people who go to sleep with makeup, wake up with makeup. Their hair is always made. Yeah, and I'm sorry. I'm not trying to criticize that. I'm just trying to have a
More
healthy
realistic.
conversation here. Because if you see television from so many other countries, they are so much better than us. Their television is like cinema. And I'm having this conversation because I think we are such a big nation that if television changes, it will make so much of a difference to everybody. So I really wish that all this that is happening in the web platform and all these other platforms should start happening. There was a time, if you remember, in television when they were doing these short stories from Satyajit Ray's or something. Those were absolutely wonderful shows. But I don't know.
So what are the new paths that have opened up? What is your current state of work? Can you talk about it?
Yes, I've gone into production, and 2 years, no, 3 years back, I was just sitting and, we most of the time you hear actors say that uh, आप इतना काम क्यों नहीं करते, तो हम बोलते हैं अच्छी स्क्रिप्ट नहीं आती है. शायद हमेशा सच नहीं होता, बट वो सच भी होता है, बिकॉज द गुड साइड इज देयर सो मेनी गुड एक्टर्स नाउ, and there are not that many good scripts, so they really don't come. And एक्टर की बेचारे की ऐसी हालत होती है, रोज सुबह दुकान खोल के बैठ जाते हैं, कोई आ गया तो आ गया, नहीं आया तो बंद करके फिर सो जाओ रात को. वी आर टोटली डिपेंडेंट ऑन somebody else taking a call whether we are going to get the work or not. So I thought at that point that probably I should just take a break for a year and do something new. And of course, when you tell somebody I'm not going to work for a year, it is such a big thing. It's like you saying that I'm going to go for a holiday, and ऑफिस में सब बोलते हैं अरे तू 10 दिन चली जाएगी तो ऑफिस में काम कैसे होगा. आप 10 दिन बाद आओ, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, ऑफिस अच्छे से चल रहा होता है. And it's the same when I said I'm not going to work for a year, everybody was like, how are you going to do that and all. And I wanted to do something totally different, so then I joined theater, and I did a lot of backstage work, not acting but just back. So for 1.5 years I just did theater in backstage. And also somewhere, you see, I was so much of a cinema person and I was not at all a theater person. तो जब सब लोग बात करते थे बड़ी तकलीफ होती थी, क्योंकि you can't say anything, you don't know anything about it. So I think I wanted a bit of that. But then I realized this was a very good thing, every 1 year you can try doing new things. So then I thought, okay, I'll become a producer now, because I've never been a producer. and we always talk on the set. All the actors sit in the makeup room, and this is a constant conversation when we are cribbing and cribbing and cribbing, because some bad actor will be there, some lighting is not good or something, and we'll say, "अरे उसको ले लेते यार, अरे इसको लेना चाहिए था." तो ये बात बहुत होती है. I wanted to see if I could actually translate it by becoming a producer and putting together a project where there were good actors, good technicians, and a good script and story. So it is challenging because I wanted to do it correctly, learn it properly, and I wanted to be a hands-on producer. It's like 7 o'clock you go on the sets, and small budget. The production was small budget, so we could only afford 3 vanity vans, and we had 11 actors. So I had a room which was for the junior artist. So that was a very interesting. It's a reverse journey, It's on the other side, and. Then I did accounts also. Now I do accounts also. Yes. So it's very exciting. And yes, there are little problems. Now that I've become a producer, I realize the finance part of it is very difficult. And, you're constantly trying to raise money in what you believe. And everybody is not going to believe in what you believe till the film releases and they see the product, which is okay. But it's an uphill task. So this is very interesting now. Being a producer is very interesting.
Cheers to that. And so, in the natural path of evolution, do we see a director, Sarika?
No, not at all.
No?
मेरा दिल ही नहीं होता. I don't think I have anything really to say. Probably a day when I find that I really want to talk about something or say something, I don't see it happening.
So well, it's been wonderful talking to you. It's been wonderful talking to you. The surprise and the magic, part of the magic of the arts lies in the triumph of the unexpected. And we have an award-winning actress who actually came into cinema with no background support. She built her career and her craft completely on her own. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us at this session.
Thank you so much, and thanks for spending this time with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.